There are some things that really stick with you in life. Your first crush, your first concert, first time getting arrested. But you know what's really stuck with me over the years? How the actual hell did they get that car inside that classroom in that one episode of Drake and Josh? Seriously, this question has haunted me for over 20 years because, oh yeah, that's how old the episode is. Honor Council premiered in November 2004 as the final episode of season 2 of Drake and Josh. It's about Drake getting falsely accused of a crime and Josh having to defend him in fake court. And honestly, does any school actually do this? My high school had a mock trial team, but they were all aware that they were just role-playing essentially. It was never a fake trial with actual stakes, like deciding the fate of a real student getting suspended or not. But whatever. This episode is also noteworthy for being the first appearance of Mindy Crenshaw, who goes on to be a pretty important character in the series as both a rival and love interest for Josh.
I love you.
Seeing chemistry.
I remember this episode so well, but I can't for the life of me remember how they explained getting the car in the classroom. So let's take a look back at Drake and Josh Honor Council and put this thing to bed once and for all. As always, if you like this one, please be sure to give us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just go to the newly born ward at a hospital and scream at the top of my lungs, if you do. And as always, if you have any other shows or episodes you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. All right, let's dive in. So the cold open starts off with Drake giving us all some advice.
You know what I say? If it feels good, do it.
And then Drake starts jacking off right then and there in front of the camera.
Drake, stop poisoning the youth of America.
Just kidding. And to be honest, it always makes me feel weird whenever they reference the fact that they're on a TV show in these cold opens. Like Josh asking Drake if he's giving a good message to the youth of America. Why do they know they're on a show? Then our plot gets started right away because as soon as they walk into the classroom, there it is, right in the middle of the room. Miss Hafer's damn car. And the other students who were already in there before Drake and Josh have like no reaction. Shouldn't people be gathered around like, whoa, what the hell? There's a fucking car in the middle of the classroom. But no one is saying anything. They're all silent. And you know why? Because they're all extras. They're not allowed to speak, or else Nickelodeon would have to pay them more money. Mindy comes up to Josh and starts randomly insulting him. Oh yeah, she wants him bad. And when she first appeared on screen, I couldn't help but notice she looked really young. So I got curious and looked it up. Josh had just turned 18 when this episode premiered, so he was likely 17 when it was filmed. And Mindy, on the other hand, had just turned 14 when the episode came out, meaning she was only 13 when they filmed it. And I don't know, maybe no one else cares, but my mind is kind of blown right now because I didn't realize Mindy had an age gap like that with Drake and Josh. She is in real life closer in age to Miranda Cosgrove than she is to Josh Peck. Miss Hafer enters class late saying her car was stolen last night, then says, oh shit, there it is. Then she crashes out a little bit.
No explosion.
My car's in the middle of my classroom!
Kaboom.
She should honestly learn to appreciate a good prank. The car was really just relocated, which is better than being actually stolen. This bitch just needs a good lay. That'll set her right. So Miss Hafer is kind of wild, and instead of like calling the police or something, she just tries to have class as normal. Drake and Josh have nowhere to sit because the car is in the way of where their regular desks would be. And that should be a problem for at least like 4 other students in class too. The car is more than big enough to occupy the same space where up to 6 desks would be. Where the fuck are the other students?
Kind of parked in our spots.
Then sit in the car.
Shotgun.
Nice going, Josh. Smooth.
A guy from Quadruple A shows up, which is a parody of Triple A if you didn't know, and Miss Hafer tells him to get the car out of the classroom. How the fuck does she expect him to do that? Especially with Drake and Josh sitting in there. Josh and Minnie both raise their hand to answer a question about Romeo and Juliet, showing how their nerd rivalry is heating up. And of course, Mindy gets the answer right after Josh gets it wrong. Classic. Then, the car guy finds Drake's jacket in Miss Hafer's trunk, and she immediately blames him for the prank and tells him he's suspended. Does she even have the power to do that? Isn't it up to the principal when someone gets suspended? Back at home, Megan hassles Drake wanting to hear details about how he pulled off this prank.
Why'd you do it?
I didn't.
How'd you do it?
I told you I didn't do it. I swear on Mom's grave.
Excuse me. Still alive here.
And I'm with Megan. She's asking the right questions. Drake insists he didn't do it and tells his parents the same thing. Suddenly, Josh bursts in and says the school can't just suspend Drake because of his Sixth Amendment right to a speedy and public trial. And he, of course, offers to be Drake's fake lawyer in fake court. Cut to the courthouse. I mean, the school? Damn, what room in the school even is this? It's like a whole ass fake courtroom. The judge has a podium, there's permanent signs on the wall, everything. How do they have a whole area for student trials like this? Do that many kids get in trouble and then dispute the claims? Miss Hafer shows up, tells Drake she hates him, and then reveals that her fake lawyer is going to be none other than Mindy, who always beats Josh at everything.
I've come prepared. Got me a briefcase.
Hi, Mrs. Hafer.
Wow, Mindy. 2 briefcases.
How much paperwork could she possibly have that she needs 2 briefcases? The judge walks in, and holy balls, that's Richard Gleason, aka Mr. Vernon from the Breakfast Club.
If you're found guilty by the jury, you're going to be suspended from school.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Pretty cool cameo, and clearly, if Dan Schneider wanted him for the guest role, he must be a fan of his work, which kinda makes the Breakfast Bunch episode of Victorious make a little more sense. Drake asks what's gonna happen if he's found guilty.
If you're found guilty by the jury, you're going to be suspended from school.
And if I'm found innocent?
Yeah, right.
And if I was Drake, I would already be asking for a retrial. So Josh makes an opening statement using as much fancy legal jargon as possible, and he's actually so fucking boring that the jury and judge start to fall asleep. Even the judge gets so pissed off that he uses an air horn to make Josh shut the hell up. And Josh does realize he needs to win these people over, right? Not just fucking annoy them. Mindy, on the other hand, decides to get on the crowd's good side.
Drake's guilty. I'll prove it. Who wants sushi?
What is it with Dan Schneider shows and sushi? The characters on Zoe 101 are like obsessed with it.
Where's our sushi?
Oh, want somebody order some California rolls?
Can we have our sushi?
Hell, in Victorious, the gang goes to Nozu to get sushi as well.
How's that tuna?
Good. The sushi here is amazing.
And Mindy's using it to bribe the entire jury and judge. Also, in Drake and Josh Alone, there's an episode called I Love Sushi, and there's even an episode where Megan eats sushi off of Drake's guitar.
Are you eating sushi off of my guitar?
Yeah.
Why?
Does it upset you?
Yes.
Well, that's why.
What is it with Dan Schneider shows and sushi? Mindy calls Drake to the witness stand, and somehow she got her grubby mitts on his personal notebook. How did she access that? She enlarges some of his personal doodles, and this part was always one of the funniest moments in the entire episode for me. The first drawing depicts Miss Hafer jumping to her death from an airplane.
And who is this jumping out of the airplane?
Mrs. Hafer?
And where's her parachute?
Didn't draw one.
Didn't draw one. Drake, what are these things in the water?
Hungry alligators.
Why did he have to throw in that the alligators were hungry? The doodle was already incriminating enough without him clarifying that the alligators wanted to eat her flesh. The next doodle shows a grand piano about to crash over Miss Hafer's skull. And for some reason, those were the only 2 drawings I remember, but there's actually more.
What's happening to Mrs. Hafer here?
Eaten by an elephant.
And here?
Struck by lightning.
And this one?
Probed by aliens.
I'm pretty sure probe by aliens means they were putting shit up her ass. Call the police. Mindy says no further questions, and I'll give her this. She did a great job proving that Drake hates Miss Hafer. But you can't actually get suspended for hating a teacher. How about actually proving that Drake, you know, did the crime? Josh gets us back on topic by saying that the car was put in the classroom between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. And Drake couldn't have done it because they share a bedroom and he can confirm that Drake was at home sleeping during those times. Mindy then calls Josh to the stand for questioning.
Is it true that I beat you in the science fair last year?
Yes. What does that have to do with this trial?
Nothing, I just like reminding you.
Mindy points out that Drake could have just snuck out and committed the crime while Josh was sleeping, and he says, that's impossible. I would have woken up, I'm a light sleeper.
I'd like to show you a video clip from MeganParker.com.
Hi, I'm Megan Parker, and this is my friend Addie. I'm her friend Addie. Welcome to another episode of Doing Stuff to Josh While He Sleeps.
Boob clip of the week? That's crazy. I know that's her nickname for Drake and Josh.
Those dumb boobs.
I know it's not actual boobs, but I mean, come on. That's a little insane. Also, random cameo appearance from Emma Roberts, aka Addie from the almost entirely forgotten Nickelodeon show Unfabulous. And she actually introduces herself as Addie in the clip.
And this is my friend Addie. I'm her friend Addie.
So I guess that show canonically takes place in the same universe as Drake and Josh? And a couple more things. This webpage actually looks a lot like Penelope Taint's website from The Amanda Show. It's pretty much an early prototype of iCarly.com. And finally, MeganParker.com apparently used to redirect to iCarly.com, but sadly, it no longer does. But someone does still own the website, so I don't get, if Nickelodeon owns it, why they wouldn't just have it redirect to Nickelodeon.com. So Megan and Addie do a segment called Doing Stuff to Josh While He Sleeps. Sounds illegal. They proceed to put baloney on his face, then put lipstick on him, then put some pussy on his head. It's a kitty cat, don't worry. Why the hell did he claim to be a light sleeper? I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to lie in court, Josh. That's called perjury.
Drake obviously snuck out, pulled the prank, then snuck back in before Josh even knew he was gone.
Drake, how could you do that?
So not only is Josh lying in court, but he's also turning against his own client at the drop of a hat. Very unprofessional. Back at home, Megan says, "I heard you got cooked in court today," and shows Drake the school newspaper that says he's gonna lose the trial.
So Drake, tell me,
Tell you what.
how you got her car in that classroom?
Yeah, tell us! But Drake still insists he didn't do it, and Megan says, "Yeah, I guess actually you're too stupid to pull that off." Then she says she's gonna go look into it because she hates seeing Drake suffer without her being the one to cause it. Aw. Cut back to court, where Josh is getting pretty heated.
I am not an emotional man. But I would go to the ends of the earth to prove that my client, Drake Parker, is innocent!
And to be fair, I can see why he's pissed, because this does not seem like a very fair trial.
Sit down, will you? We all know Drake is guilty. That's up to the jury.
Guilty. I think he's guilty.
Did they just vote out in the open? Aren't they supposed to do that in private, then return with a verdict after deliberation? Also, why'd they wait a whole nother day to do that? Couldn't they have just voted yesterday? Megan runs into the courtroom with an envelope that has some juicy evidence inside, and Josh calls Mindy to the stand.
We happen to have a copy of your transcript. And your grades.
It turns out the envelope contained Mindy's transcripts, and she had all A's, except for just one B from years ago.
Okay, fine, I got 1 B.
Yes, you did.
In a class taught by
Mrs. Alice Hafer.
And I do gotta point out, in this episode, they're saying Miss Hafer's first name is Alice.
Alice Hafer.
But in the season 4 episode, Vicious Tiberius, her first name is Linda. Did she change her name? Is this bitch running from the law?
Remember the science
So
fair?
you took her car apart and put it back together in her classroom to get even.
Stop talking.
Yeah, and then you framed me. Admit it, tell the truth.
All right, I did it. You happy?
So that's how she did it?
You took her car apart and put it back together in her classroom.
Okay. I still don't see how she took the actual frame of a car apart, then put it back together again. That just seems kind of impossible to do in just 6 hours! There's no way she did it! Also, why did she frame Drake? Was he just the easiest person to blame? I don't see any logical reason for her to have any beef against him at this point in the series. So I guess Drake was just collateral damage? Also, how did Josh know that she took apart the car and put it back together just from her transcripts? If Josh thought that's how the crime was committed all along, then how did Mindy convince him for a second that Drake was actually guilty of the crime? First off, Josh knows that Drake's an idiot. Plus, in the Dune Buggy episode where they had to rebuild the car's engine, Drake didn't even help at all. He doesn't know anything about cars. Hell, even in the wedding, Drake doesn't know anything about fixing the car.
Well, there's the motor.
So I'm pissed that even for a second, Josh pretended like he thought Drake did it. So Mindy ends up suspended, and Miss Hafer actually apologizes to Drake and admits that she was wrong, but throws in that she still hates him, of course. Also, Mindy just committed so many crimes to make this prank possible. She not only had to hotwire Miss Hafer's car, steal it, drive it to the school, then unbuild it and rebuild it within 6 hours, which is physically fucking impossible, especially alone, but she also picked the lock on Miss Miss Hafer's trunk to put Drake's jacket inside. Hell, she even picked the lock on Drake's locker to steal his jacket. This bitch is a criminal mastermind. Then, Josh pats himself on the damn back for winning the case?
Thanks for getting me out of this, man. I definitely owe you.
Shouldn't Megan be the one who gets the credit for solving the case? Without her evidence, Josh would have fucking nothing. He even started to believe that Drake committed the crime. So Drake sends the courtroom hose to Josh. And this is pretty much the exact ending of the special that comes years later, where Drake tosses the hose over to Josh and they share them while driving around Hollywood having a great time. So I guess Dan Schneider really thought that this was a brilliant ending or something. And just one more time, I gotta get some justice for Megan. She basically solved the case for Josh, and she isn't even thanked or acknowledged or even seen on screen again for the episode. Justice for Megan. But seriously though, how the hell did Mindy pull this off? Let's just think about this for a minute. The school janitor said that the car got put in the classroom between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m., meaning she only had a 6-hour window to do this. A typical car weighs between 3,000 and 4,000 pounds. Even if we accept that Mindy had the mechanical knowledge to know how to disassemble and reassemble a car, since she is supposed to be a genius and all, that still doesn't explain how the hell she'd be able to move all those pieces of heavy machinery into a locked school classroom by herself. It's never said that she had anyone helping her or any kind of accomplice. Even just moving the engine of a car alone, which is a couple hundred pounds, mind you, would require some equipment and most likely multiple fully grown adults with proper rigging. Mindy is a young, small-ass teenager, and you're telling me she did this all in 6 goddamn hours. Being a genius doesn't give you super strength and super speed. I'm gonna have to put this one back in the bargain bin, because I ain't buying it. But even though this prank is super implausible, to the point where I feel comfortable calling it straight up impossible, it's still pretty damn memorable, and the episode is really funny. So, we'll let it slide. But enough of me yapping. What did you guys think of Honor Council? Did it still make you laugh all these years later? Or are you a humorless killjoy? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and let's kick it. And as always, I gotta give a massive spooky, ooh yeah, shout out to my channel members and Patreon members. I love each and every one of you, and I don't mean it just as a friend. If you're still here, that's awesome. Why not make sure you're subscribed and maybe check out some other videos? You might have a fun time, you might not. I can't make any promises. And also, you guys can give me a follow on Instagram and X at AgroWasHere. It's a good way to keep tabs on me, and you'll get some bonus nostalgic content. All right, thanks for listening.